Hi, I'd like to extend a heartfelt request to you. It appears that a significant portion of our audience, perhaps even including you, haven't yet pressed that all important follow or subscribe button available on your preferred listening platform. So here's my pledge to you. If you take a moment to subscribe, I commit to dedicating myself now and always to continually elevate the quality of the show. I vow to pour my energy and passion into crafting episodes that are not only better, but also rich with insights that can genuinely assist those who are seeking this knowledge. Your subscription is more than just a click. It's a catalyst that enables the growth and evolution of this podcast. It empowers us to enhance our production capabilities and to enrich the content we deliver to you, providing quality information that will help you and also provide you with a diverse range of guests. I cannot emphasize enough how crucial your support is. It's the driving force that propels this show to greater heights, making it increasingly beneficial for a wider audience. Thank you for considering this request. Together, we can make this podcast a beacon of inspiration and information. Hi, and welcome to the Diary of an HR and Career Coach, the podcast that provides you with the right strategy to find your dream job and career, and even a side business to help you get by. I also speak about career growth, creating dynamic personal brands, and anything that will get you front and center where it matters. I'm your host, Bryce, so let's get started. Today I wanted to speak about a very important topic that is being discarded by many. In fact, in today's world of artificial intelligence, it is extremely important whether you're running a business or trying to get into business, or even if you're looking for a job or even trying to grow your existing role, you need to be recognized as a professional within your industry. And the only way to do that is through personal branding. So today we're going to discuss the importance of personal branding. I do have to warn you, however, that since this podcast was going to be a very, very long one, I decided to make it into 3 parts. So you'll be seeing the first part today, which will emphasize on personal branding when looking for a job. Now, usually the podcast is split into 5 units, 5 parts. The first one focuses on job hunting, CV writing, resume writing, interviewing skills, anything related to this aspect. The second part is usually related to how to grow your career. The third one is if you're running a business, we'll be talking about how to start a business, how to run the business on the side while you're doing your job, or even taking it further and leaving your job and focusing on business. The other part is what's happening in the job front, in the job market at this point in time. That is part 4. And the 5th part focuses on the future of jobs, how to future-proof your job, and so forth. So since I mentioned that we would be having 3 episodes, today I will be focusing on the 1st, the 4th, and the 5th part. When I'm going to be talking about the job hunting and CV tips, etc., we will be covering why personal branding is important in job hunting and its importance in landing a job. So let's get started. Now, before I get into the importance of personal branding in a job, I want to talk about what is personal branding to begin with. Personal branding is basically the practice of marketing oneself and your career as well, so as to make it a brand. Why we do that is basically to differentiate you. Personal branding often involves the use of your name on various platforms such as social media. Personal branding is about crafting a distinct identity with clear value proposition that you bring and can communicate to various channels or your target audience. Now, this helps individuals to stand out. So that is the main thing. It's to stand out, attract opportunities, and achieve your future career goals. Now, that is what personal branding is. But then comes the question, why is it important? Now, I always love giving this example of Coke and an unknown brand. So you need to understand that Coke's brand is extremely powerful. If you go anywhere in the world, everybody knows what Coke is. So that brand stands out. Even if I have to come and ask you which cola drink would you like? Would you like to have a Coke or would you like to have some unknown brand? Obviously, you're going to pick Coke. And why you're going to pick Coke is because you know it brings value. Okay, it satisfies your thirst. It does what it's supposed to do, right? Okay, so that is what Coke does. Now just imagine an individual having that power. So now you understand the power of personal branding. If you had a brand that was equivalent to Coke, people would want you. So same thing applies in the job as well. When you're looking for a job and there are a whole bunch of people that the recruiter or the hiring manager wants to pick, you're going to stand out from that crowd. You will be the Coke of your industry. So now comes the question, what does having a strong personal brand do for you? First of all, it creates a digital first impression. How many times have you gone for an interview and before going for the interview, you do a Google search of the person who will be taking your interview? Or you'll go onto LinkedIn to check who's going to be taking your interview. Now, if you're doing this, the hiring manager is doing the same. All right. So when they do a Google search, where do you appear? Are you appearing on the first page? Or do you not exist? Because if you do not exist, that is a problem. The second thing, it builds trust. You see, credibility and authenticity is extremely important. And in a world that is saturated with so much of information, people want authenticity. They want to know that the person that they're speaking to is authentic. That authenticity will be the factor that will either get you the job or not get you the job, the yes or the no. So the third one, it helps you stand out from the crowd. Most importantly, in a day and age where there are so many people looking for a job or there's so much of noise out there, it makes you stand out. And that is extremely important. Point number 4, it helps you attract the right opportunities. A powerful personal brand acts just like a magnet. You will start attracting job offers, interviews, a whole bunch of things. And that is extremely important. So instead of you having to apply for a position, you'll actually have people contacting you. The fifth one, it helps in building a loyal community. When you're looking for a job, you need to have the right champions that are going to help you get there. And personal branding actually is the foundation of that, of actually having a loyal community. People who will go and put their neck on the line in order for you to get your next job. The sixth one, it offers flexibility and adaptability. Now, the world is changing. It's not what it used to be like before. Being in HR, we used to see people would just apply for a position and you got it. Markets are changing. Job dynamics are changing. Everything is changing. But when you have a strong brand, that makes you resilient. Okay, it allows you to pivot, it allows you to adapt, it allows you to evolve. And that is key to actually getting your next role. The seventh one, it helps most importantly to create legacy. We all want to leave something behind. And having a strong personal brand is your footprint in this world. It's about creating a narrative, one that resonates, one that influences, one that inspires. And it's not that. These things shouldn't just happen right now. It should be happening long after you've left the room, long after you've left this earth. And that is what legacy is about. Let's talk about the rise of personal branding in job hunts. Having a strong brand makes the employer more aware of who you are. Employers just don't hire just like that. What they do is that they want to know who they are hiring. And in order for that to happen, they're going to want to make sure that you are more than that resume. And how are they going to know that? All right, they're not going to know it until they bring you on board. But no organization is going to bring you on board first. So the only way for them to get to know you more is through your personal brand. They will ensure that they check Google, they'll check your social media platforms and so forth. They will talk within the industry. They'll talk to professionals. Do they know so and so person? They'll talk to you if you're a newbie, meaning if you're someone who's just come out of university. They're going to ask your professors. They're going to ask probably your peers, anything that will help them in seeing that you are the right candidate for the position. When you're looking for a job, the new portals, the new online portals, they've gotten more cleverer. They're now using artificial intelligence to do further screening of resumes, etc. Now, with the new artificial intelligence backed softwares, what is happening is that you apply and simultaneously artificial intelligence is going onto Google, it's going onto Bing, it's surfing the whole net about who you are, what you're saying, what are your values, do they align with the values of the organization? Because if they do not align with the values of the organization, the chances of you getting the job is literally zero. So that is why it's important to have a personal brand. Now, as I said, people still think that dropping a CV for a position will get them the job. First of all, generic resumes do not work anymore. So what I mean by that, one CV or one resume is not going to work for every position that you're going to apply for. You will have to alter the CV accordingly. And I'll talk about CVs and resumes in a couple of episodes from now. But you see, what matters the most is that AI currently is checking relevancy. It's looking for skill set, it's looking for soft skills, it's looking for hard skills, and it's crossing all information about you. Now, and as I said before, if you don't have a presence online, that could go against you. Even having a presence online, okay, is it's not just you having a presence online. You need to make sure that it's a clean presence. And when I say clean, what I mean by that is that you should not be, against certain things, because we tend to be very vocal. Okay, we will have religious sentiments, we will have certain different sentiments towards different types of people and so forth. That can actually go against you. Okay, as AI is becoming more clever, it's going to become more of it's going to become more difficult to actually make sure that your online presence is pristine, is perfect. Now, that is your online presence, and I'll talk about how to get there. But I also want to point out how you can incorporate your personal brand into your resume. I'm going to be very candid, all right? Uh, let's be honest here. I'm sure that when you went to make your resume, what you did is you picked up a job description, you looked at those tasks that are mentioned in the job description and decided to pick some of those and put it into your resume. All right. Trust me, I would say about 90% of people do this. I want you now to sit and think of yourself from the perspective of the hiring manager. Let's suppose the line manager picks up the resume, picks up two resumes, and takes a look and sees that, hey, both candidates are doing the same thing. How does he pick? So, are you getting where I'm coming from? You need to stand out. And how can you stand out is, of course, by doing the following. First, you need to understand your personal brand. Now, in the how to understand your personal brand is by seeing what is your unique value proposition. And I will touch upon unique value proposition up ahead in today's podcast. But right now, all you need to know is what are your values, what are your strengths, what are your skills, what is that thing that you can bring to the table that others can't. Now, for example, you may be a creative problem solver, or you may be a tech savvy marketer, or you may be, a compassionate customer services representative. All right, this needs to be put into your profile. So, first of all, you will need to find out your unique value proposition. What are the key values, the skills that you can bring to the table? That is, and usually you would see in most resumes, you'll have a profile. So straight after your name, address, meaning email address, etc., you will have the profile or executive summary. Under this is where you will put your value proposition in place. Okay. Mention, if you're a tech savvy marketeer with whatever, so many years of experience, bringing this on board. So this is the first part of your resume. So you're incorporating personal branding into your resume. So the next section that you should be pointing out in your resume is your skills section. Now, usually I like to make 3 columns. In those columns, I look at the job description and see what are the major requirements. Applicant tracking softwares will pick up certain keywords from your CV and cross-refer it with the job description. You need to make sure that those keywords are peppered all over your resume. That will give you a higher ranking. But there's sometimes when you put certain keywords in place, the sentence structure may not make sense. That's where these skills areas come into place. So if, let's say in marketing, there's a marketing position that you're applying for, and one of their major requirements is Twitter, or X, what it's called now. So maybe you can't mention it under the jobs that you're applying for. You can then put it into these skills area. Okay, so it increases the number of times that the word Twitter pops up in, right? Now that is the key skills area, and also place those skills that you are known for in there. Okay, so when you did your value proposition, you added it into this text. Now, the next part of your resume should show your achievements. The achievements area, again, you need to think, looking at the job description, what are your major achievements in that specific area? Okay, so let's suppose, again, it's a social media position. Make sure your achievements area actually has a lot of social media achievements equated with it. Okay, now what we like to do is we like to throw in all our achievements over there. Don't. Okay, What is irrelevant doesn't need to go onto the resume, because what we need to remember is that the resume is not there for you to get the job. The resume is there for you to get the interview. The interview is there for you to get the job. So if you have that in your mind, you will ensure that you don't put irrelevant information into your resume. Try to maintain your resume down to 1 to 2 pages, maximum 3. But 3 is for those people who have at least 15 plus years of experience. If you have less, 2 pages. Should not go over that. Once the achievements area, of course, is complete, then you complete the rest of your resume. Now, this is how to inculcate your personal brand into your resume. Now, why is this important? All right, let me give you an example. Let me tell you a story. Now, recruitment done right means the right person is picked for the right job. Now, I had a client who was a cost controller. Basically, he was CFO, who was known, okay, to be exceptional with managing cost. All right. And even his personal brand that we created, it also was mentioned in his resume that, he was an expert when it came to managing cost, to cost cutting, and so forth. There was a company that was bleeding money. When they came across his personal brand, they straight away called him for an interview. Why? His personal brand reflected how he managed costs. Okay, he wrote articles about it, he made videos about it, and when they picked up his resume, they saw the same effect, that he was doing this. So what happened? Called for the interview, he got the job. So this is the power of having a strong personal brand. Amazing, isn't it? So this shows how amazing a personal brand is. But then comes the question, how do you create a personal brand? And that's what we're going to get into right now. Earlier, I mentioned something known as a UVP. What does UVP stand for? It stands for unique value proposition. So let's talk about how to create that, because that is your foundation to building your personal brand. Because once you have your UVP, on top of that will come the next steps. Okay, so how to create a UVP. Why is UVP important? Is because it will differentiate you from the rest of the market. It is also going to attract your key target audience, whether that's a recruiter, whether it's people who want to follow you, but this is the key behind it, right? First of all, how do we go about creating the unique value proposition? I'm going to use UVP to cut it down in abbreviation form. So the first one is to understand your audience. Now, before you can craft your UVP, it's crucial to understand who your audience is. All right. Now, why does this matter? You need to know about your target audience. You need to know what are their needs, what are their desires, what are their pain points. So when it comes to when you're applying for a job, you need to think from the perspective of the hiring manager. It's so important to know what are their needs, what keeps them up at night, and of course, what is their desires? Who are they looking for? You need to know what that is, and that will be the first part of your UVP. The second one is identifying your strengths. Okay, I get the example of the CFO who was an expert at cost cutting. All right. So what is your skill? So ensure that you jot down those skills. Figure out which ones are your most important skills and how will they relate when you are applying for a job. Okay. So this is going to be part of your UVP. The third one is You need to solve problems. Okay, you need to show that you can solve a problem. You see, by presenting yourself as the solution to that problem is what will get you that job. The fourth one, be clear and concise. You see, your UVP shouldn't be one page long. Your UVP should be in a couple of sentences, 5 sentences in total. You will keep on changing your UVP. Okay, that is something else. That's point number 5. Is that as you carry on evolving, your UVP will also evolve with time. So make sure that you revisit your UVP, which brings me to point number 6. Keep updating your UVP. All right, because that is what will show that you are aligned with whatever changes are happening in the market. I keep on talking about artificial intelligence, machine learning, automation. Okay, all of this is happening at a very quick rate. All right, your UVP should carry on transforming as the markets are transforming. Incorporate feedback. That's point number 7. Talk to mentors, talk to people who are close to you, and see if your UVP is aligned with who you are. Okay, and the last one is that you need to showcase your UVP. All right, just writing a UVP and keeping it to yourself is not going to help. How are you going to showcase your UVP? Very simple. In every document that you have, you need to personal brand yourself. Your UVP needs to be mentioned there. On every social media platform that you exist, that you are on, you need to project your UVP. On your business cards or in meetings, you will live your UVP. So that's your foundation, your UVP. Now, how do you showcase that UVP so that your brand is built on it? Very simple. There are a few points that we will go through, okay? Because building a personal brand is a comprehensive process, okay, that carries on evolving, okay, because you will change, so will your UVP, so will your personal brand that is built on that UVP. All right, so how do we project the UVP? The first one is by online branding. The first thing that you need to do is ensure that you're on LinkedIn. If you're looking for a job, LinkedIn is a must. A lot of people just copy paste whatever's in their resume onto their LinkedIn profile. No, please do not do that. If you don't know how to do it, if you do not know how to make a LinkedIn profile properly, ask a professional, contact a career coach. You can contact me as well. It is essential that you have a strong LinkedIn profile. The reason behind this is that in the last 3 years that we've seen, most recruitment is happening through LinkedIn. So if you don't have a LinkedIn profile, and if it's not strong enough, you are the one who's going to lose out. The second one, create your own website with your name. Okay, this is important because when artificial intelligence does a Google search, at least your website will pop up. Now, what will you have on your website? You can have your profile, you can have blogs over there, anything that showcases your achievements. That needs to be on your website. Now, the next thing is social media. You need to use platforms like Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, etc. You need to be there, okay, not only just for presence sake, but also to ensure that you provide value add. Now, what do I mean by that? Number one, you need to have an engaged audience, someone who's discussing with you, that's talking with you, that likes whatever you put up. The second one is that you need to network with professionals in your field. Now, that is where, LinkedIn is extremely important over here, but that doesn't mean that you do not do that on other platforms. Share articles, especially within your field. Now, why this is important. Okay, the more articles that you put out there, the more presence you have. So when, again, AI does a search on you, okay, your Facebook is going to reflect, your ex Twitter is going to reflect everything that you stand for. The next one is content creation. Now, a lot of people hesitate on this. I would humbly request each and every one of you to start creating your own content. Because, as I said, it's not about just throwing a resume out there. It's not going to happen anymore. You will not get a job because you just threw a resume out there. Your online presence matters, and it's not just online presence, it's what you stand for, what you put out. So when you create your own content, whether it is videos, whether it's articles, it shows that you are different, that you stand out from those people who are not doing it. Okay, which substantially increases the chances of you to get a job. Now, what can you put out there? You can put blog posts. There are plenty of platforms on which you can write on. LinkedIn is one of them. There's Medium. There's your own website. So make sure whatever you put out, you also put it on your website. You can make videos. You can do podcasts like what I'm currently doing. You can even work on infographics. There's so much you can do. The next is you need to engage your audience. Now, just having an audience, okay, who are not interacting with you is useless. So you need to comment. You need to comment on your audience. Whoever's following you, you should be commenting on their platforms. You need to participate in discussions, okay? Join groups that are on different platforms. Get into discussions so that people see who you are and will follow you. One very important one that you should know is in LinkedIn, there are certain groups, okay? Let's suppose I gave the example of marketing. You are in a marketing group. You will be surprised how many recruiters are on these groups. So what are they doing? They're sitting and looking. Who are the ones who are most interactive? Who are the people who are posting more? Who are commenting more? All right. The more online presence you have in these groups, you're going to be up there. And when it comes to hiring, guess who's going to be noticed first? You. So that is extremely important. Okay, so engage with your audience, and of course, utilize. If you feel that you're not getting enough traction, get an SEO, which stands for search engine optimization. You can either do it yourself or get a professional to help you increase your visibility. That's the first thing. The second one, offline branding. Now, what do I mean by offline branding? First one is networking. Now, networking is extremely important. Okay, it shows your presence no matter where you are. So, taking on the same marketing thing, if you are a marketing expert, make sure that you are attending industry events which are related to marketing. Make sure that you're part of Marketing Executives Association. Make sure you're attending workshops. Make sure that you are attending seminars. All right, it's important that you are there in these places, and ensure that you also have your business card so you can throw it there. Now, a lot of people say that, oh, I'm without a job, I don't have a business card. That doesn't mean to say that you cannot have a business card if you don't have a job. Print some, hand them around. Okay, make it clever. Put your UVP into your business card. I mean, I'm not telling you to write your whole UVP, but portions of that into it. Okay. Now, the next thing that you should be focusing on when it comes to offline branding is public speaking. You see, the more you speak, the more you get yourself out there, the more you look like a guru. Now, where can you talk? Where can you spread your expertise? First one is universities. Universities are always looking for people who can come in and speak. All right. Contact your nearest universities. You'll be surprised. Number two, There are a number of these, sharing workplaces, right? Ask the people who run the business if you can come and speak, because you're not just speaking to one company. There are multiple people from different companies there. Speak. Okay, you can do a talk there. You can even do a workshop. Now you can do a workshop at one of these locations. You can also do your own workshop and earn some money on the side, or you can collaborate. See people who are giving trainings. Okay, ask them if you can join in. Now initially, all right, don't expect to be paid. Use these platforms to make a name for yourself. The next one is mentoring. If you have knowledge, share it. Knowledge is power. So when you share it, take junior people, ask them if they want to be mentored. A lot of young people are looking for mentors, and by you mentoring, and these people will also mention it out there, it sort of backs you up and solidifies your name as the expert in that specific field. So that is extremely important. The third part, okay, is feedback and adaptation. Now, carry on seeking feedback, all right, from your colleagues, from your mentors, because you yourself will have to have mentors as well. Okay, stay updated. Now, when you are going to mentor, obviously you need to know what's happening in the world today, because you cannot be a mentor if you're still going to teach or guide people according to how you did things, let's say 20 years back. Things have changed. So you need to continuously improve your knowledge. And you can do that by attending workshops, by taking online courses, by doing a lot of reading. Go online, watch videos on YouTube. That's another thing. So make sure that you're staying updated. The fourth one, be consistent. Consistency is the key. If you're going to write articles, if you're going to make videos, if you're going to be having an online presence, make sure it's happening on a daily basis. Yes, videos, etc., may not be possible on a daily basis. Articles may not be on a daily basis. But I guess you get the point. It should not disappear for months on end or for weeks on end without creating any sort of content, whether it's writing, whether it's videos, whether it's podcasts, whatever it is. So make sure that you are there, and this is just the online side of it, offline as well. You need to remain consistent. You need to be out there. The more you're out there, the more your chances are of getting a job. The fifth one, monitor your reputation. Again, this is part of feedback, but you will also tend to see what people are saying online about you. Do a Google search continuously about yourself. The last one, be patient. Be patient and keep on persisting. Your brand is not going to be created in one day. It's going to take time. But trust me, the longer you stay at it, the stronger your brand. So that's the first part. Now, part two. Let's talk about the job markets. Now, over the last 3 months, we've seen significant changes, several significant changes that have happened in the market. Global economic slowdown. So the World Bank has reported that global growth for 2023 is expected to slow down to 1.7%. Okay. The second thing, so not everything is doom and gloom. The second is renewable energy. The International Renewable Energy Agency, reported that the jobs in renewable energies have doubled in this last decade, reaching 13.7 million in this year. So the World Bank has reported that the gig economy, especially for the developing countries, has gone up to 12% of the global labor market. Which is higher than what was previously estimated. In fact, a new digital platform has popped up in Lebanon very recently, which is focusing on upskilling Lebanon youth and is also connecting them with the job market. Now, that's the good part, I guess. There have been a significant number of layoffs over the last couple of months. I'm going to just talk about June and July. Starting off in June of this year, the first company is Goodyear. So, Goodyear, the tire and rubber company, is laying off 500 employees globally. This happened in June 2023. The layoffs represented about 5% reduction in salaried staff globally and are in response to the challenging industry environment and cross pressures driven by inflation. The next company is Zendesk. Zendesk is a customer services platform. Okay, it's a software company. In June 2023, the software firm said that they would be laying off 8% of their global workforce. Next one, Sunco Energy. This is a Canadian oil producing company. It plans on dropping 1,500 jobs. Now, the layoff plan was announced in a staff memo that came to the company, which pointed out that it's doing this to strengthen its financial performance while reducing cost. This was announced in June of this year. Grubhub. Grubhub is a food delivery organization. They've laid off 400 employees as of June 2023. Then came Autoliv. Autoliv is the world's largest airbag and seatbelt company. They're cutting approximately 8,000 jobs. Okay, and mainly this is because of inflation. Then comes USP Group. It's a banking and financial services. They've laid off 35,000 employees effective June 2023. Virgin Media O2, which is a merger between Virgin and O2, is a telecom company. They are talking of laying off 2,000 employees in June of 2023. Because of the merger, they're looking at cutting between 800 and 2,000 jobs in the UK alone. Xiaomi, which is the mobile company in China, they've laid off 500 employees effective June 2023 because they decided to reduce headcount in India and move that to their parent company in China. Then was Microsoft. Microsoft downsized 1,000 employees effective July 2023. And this is mainly in their sales and customer services departments. Then comes Ericsson. If you remember in my last podcast, I had mentioned earlier this year, Ericsson had laid off about 8,500 employees. Now, effective August, they're talking about separating a further 750 people. Accenture, okay, are laying off 990 people effective August 2023. AT&T, 1,000 employees effective August 2023. Credit Suisse is laying off 80% of their employees. Okay, this news came in August. 80% is a huge number. The Royal Bank of Canada is next. They've laid off 1,800 employees effective August 2023. The last one is T-Mobile, laying off 5,000 employees in August 2023. These 5,000 employees, or roughly 7% of their staff, has already happened. So this is the news when it comes to the markets. The next section, which is future-proofing jobs. So I want to talk about a McKinsey report that popped up just recently. It is for 2023, and they spoke about certain things. So in this report, the first thing that they spoke about is generative AI. And what they said is that this technology has been a significant driver of enthusiasm about technology potentials in business and society. Now, having said this, it has the potential to add as much as 4.4 trillion US dollars in economic value through specific use cases, more diffuse uses, like, for example, emails, etc. But it also pointed out that its effect on hiring individuals would also decrease because of this technology. The second thing that they pointed out was tech talent dynamics. Now, what they pointed out, and this is good news, is that there is a huge gap, a huge talent gap between what is needed and what currently exists. Okay, so they say that a survey of 3.5 million job postings in tech trends found that many of the skills in greatest demand have less than half as many qualified practitioners per posting at the global average. Applied AI and next generation software development posted nearly 1 million jobs between 2018 and 2022. Next is the investment trend. Now, investment in most tech trends have tightened year over year, but the potential for future growth remains high. Trust architecture and digital identity saw the most growth, increasing by nearly 50%. What does this mean? Anything related to data security, building a trustworthy architecture, etc. Jobs in this area is what's going to grow. Yes, there have been decline in cloud and edge computing has declined over this time due to its maturity. The last thing in this report is that they spoke about future proofing, and this is the main reason why I picked this article. And I'm just going to read this part. They mentioned to ensure job security in the face of these technological advances. Number one, upskilling needs to be done. Continuously update your skills to stay relevant in the ever evolving tech landscape. Number two, diversify skills. Now, this is very funny because a couple of years back, we as an HR used to keep telling people to specialize, make a certain area your specialization. Now it's the opposite, where they're saying to diversify your skills. Now, just don't focus on one technology or trend. It says that having a diverse skill set can actually make you more adaptable to change. The third thing, stay updated. And this is something that I keep on saying. So regularly follow tech trends and industry news to anticipate where the job market is headed. And if you are a parent, I would advise you to actually carry on doing this so that you can get your children ready for the future. The fourth one, focus on soft skills. So while technical skills are crucial, soft skills like communication skills, problem solving skills, interpersonal skills, adaptability, etc. are important. So the technological landscape is definitely changing. It's rapidly evolving. AI, next generation software development is leading the way. And if we don't future proof our job, if we are not continuously learning, if we're not continuously adapting, we're not going to survive. And so it's extremely important that we do so. So just a very quick recap. Personal branding, why is it important? You know, I've gone through it. But honestly speaking, and this is my humble request to all the listeners, start building your personal brand. One last thing. In the beginning of this podcast, I mentioned to please subscribe. So do subscribe, do like, do leave a review. And if you found this podcast to be informative, helpful, please share this with people that you love, people who are in the same situation looking for jobs. Okay, it will be of great help to them. So thank you once again for tuning in. Do look out for the next two episodes, which should be coming out back to back. In fact, there's your advantage of subscribing. You subscribe, you'll be notified when the next episode will come out. The next episode will talk about how personal branding will help you have the career of your dreams, what's happening in the job markets. Again, we'll talk about that and future-proofing your jobs. Now, I hope you found the podcast to be of help. And once again, if it was helpful, do share this with others. Thank you for listening. And until the next episode, I'm Bryce Barrows, and you've been listening to The Diary of an HR and Career Coach. So remember to keep reaching for the stars and become unstoppable. Thank you once again for listening. Bye for now.